Hi everyone, Russ here. Welcome back to Cafe Amora. Today in Cafe Amora we are doing an experiment. We are going to test gourd pies. Now, I know you're wondering, gourd pie? Why don't you just call it pumpkin pie? That's what everyone else calls it, right? Because we're going to do something a little bit different here in Cafe Amora. We're going to test two different kinds of pumpkins and two different kinds of squash. Because when I was a boy, my grandmother always told me, squash makes the best pumpkin pie. So we're going to put Grandma's theory to the test today here in Cafe Amora. We're going to make a pie pumpkin pie, a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin pie, a butternut squash pie, and an acorn squash pie, all made the same way. The only thing we're going to do is change out the gourd material for the pumpkin, and we're going to see what happens. If we're going to do a taste test, we're going to have my neighbors test it, my friends at work test it, and we're going to see who likes what the best, and we're going to see once and for all the best way to make a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or just for general eating. All right, guys? So let's stop talking about it, and let's go bake some pies. What? Something wrong?
Not at all.
We're going to clean out the inside of this gourd here. This was our jack-o'-lantern that we murdered. So we're going to clean out the inside here. And we're going to cut it into strips and bake it! Get all this bright orange stuff out of there. The best way is just grab a spoon and start scraping. You know. There we go. So there's the inside.
It's not a second pass.
Next step in the process is to put the gourd onto a baking sheet. Line that with either parchment paper or a silicone baking mat to catch any dripping mess. They can make quite a mess if you don't do that. Baste the pumpkin with some olive oil. The olive oil is going to give it a little bit of flavor, allow some heat transfer to happen more efficiently. It's also going to be a way to hold the salt that you're about to sprinkle onto these bad boys onto the pumpkin. And put it into a 400-degree oven for 1 hour. Now that bad boy is going to be really hot, so don't even try to touch it for at least an hour. Now that the pumpkin's cooled down, it's time to scoop out the goodies into a food processor and puree it. To do this, I found the best way was with a spoon and a spatula. Now that you have your food processor filled up, go ahead and turn it on, let it puree, I don't know, for about 30 seconds to a minute. Make sure you get all the big chunks of pumpkin ground up into a nice puree. Be too shy with it, but it'll be fine. Trust me. There's some water gathering in the cavities here. That's not a big deal. It's worth losing a little bit of meat. This might actually look just like the pumpkin pie. It looks just like pumpkin puree. Good. Don't be shy, store them almost out. Well, they are going to be lovely when they come out of the oven. Simply, liberally salt these bad boys. Bad girls, whatever you want to call them. Perfect, eh? Nice. There we go. Now I have a nice puree ready to go for a nice pie. I'm looking forward to tasting this. To make the crust, you're going to want to get some ginger snaps. The ginger snaps I used were about 1.5 inches in diameter and about 1/4 inch thick. I used about 50 of those to make my crust. That equals about 9 ounces of product. Put those ginger snaps into a food processor, then add 1.5 teaspoons of dark brown sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger. Turn on the food processor and let the ginger snaps process until they're approximately the consistency of sand. Melt about 3 ounces of unsalted butter in the microwave. Go ahead and pour that onto the ginger snap crumbs and process with 3 to 5 pulses until it all comes together. It should now look a little bit like wet sand. Transfer the ginger crumbs into a 9.5 inch glass baking dish. Man, it already smells good in here. Pat it with your hands until the bottom and the sides of the baking dish are coated with the ginger crumb. This might take you a while, so your patience will be rewarded. Then, once your pie crust is ready, throw it in the oven for at least 10 to 12 minutes. Using a scale, weigh out about 1 pound of pumpkin puree. That's about 3 cups. Place that into a medium saucepan under medium heat and let it come to a slow, easy simmer. Then add 1 cup of half and half. Add cinnamon and nutmeg, about 1/2 teaspoon each. Toss in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Bring that back to a simmer, turn off the heat, and let it cool for at least 10 minutes. While this is cooling, we can make the other half of the pumpkin filling. In a large bowl, combine your brown sugar, your eggs, and your 1 egg yolk. Using a whisk, combine. After the pumpkin puree has cooled down, add it to your brown sugar egg mixture and whisk to combine. This mixture should be very liquidy and pour very easily into your pie crust. Go ahead and do that and put the pie in the oven right away. Bake for at least 50 minutes or until the sides of the pie are firm and the center jiggles slightly. Sides are set, but it jiggles in the middle. See? A little jiggle jiggle. Let that cool for at least 2 hours, but personally, I let it sit for at least 1 day in the fridge. Serve and enjoy. To make the other pies, switch out for the gourd of your choice. Butternut squash, acorn squash, jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, look at that, pie pumpkin, or any other gourd you can find out there at your local superstore. Alright guys, so here we are. We got the pies that are ready. We don't know which one's which because we labeled the bottoms of the plate, so we don't even know which one's which ourselves. We're going to do a blind taste test. Okay, here we go. Rina, you're first. Close your eyes, and I will not tell you which one I'm going to give you.
Okay.
No whipped cream so we don't spoil the results.
Okay.
Open your eyes. No, not your eyes, your mouth. Wrong part of your body. Open your mouth. There's one. I'm going from this side to that side. Take some coffee, cleanse your palate.
It's good.
Of course it's good. I made it. Just kidding. Pie numero dos. Good pie. Good pie makes its own friends. You want to be the hit of the party.
It's gonna be rough because so far I like them all.
And I don't even have any idea what any of these pies are. I know what they're supposed to be, but I have no idea which one's which. You can guess by the color, but I probably guessed wrong. That one so far? All right. Just kidding. I want some pie too, darn it. Okay, now Rina's had them all. She's not going to, well, she already did tell me she likes this one better than these, but she's not going to tell me about that one yet. I'm going to keep it a secret. Now it's my turn to eat pie. Here we go.
Alrighty.
Pie in my mouth.
Hold on, I'm coming. I know you're like salivating right now.
It's good pie. I mean, that's as good as Costco. Better than Costco, I'd say. My coffee at?
There you go.
That's a really good pie. It's probably the best pie I've made so far. That one's different. It's a lot different. I don't dislike either one, but I'm surprised how different they are. Like that one has, the second one had more flavor. First one didn't have as much flavor, but they both were good. Okay, all right. So far, it's the second one I like the best. Second, whatever it is. Again, that's so different. Like they all have the same ingredients. Everything's the same except for the gourd, it's pumpkin or squash. I like all three. So far, the second was my favorite, but that one's really good too. So if I had either one of these, I would be happy. Okay, next. That one's kind of flavorless. It has spice flavor. Anyway, next one. That's the third one. Third one I had before.
The third one?
The third one that I had, yeah.
Alright.
Because between the second and the third one for me. The first and the fourth one, I liked them, but they weren't as good. I think, not this one, but the one just before it, the one that you just like. Okay, I want the one just before this one. That one. All right, so we'll see what it is. Butternut squash, ladies and gentlemen. Butternut squash. What was this one? Sugar pumpkin. So for me, it was between butternut squash and sugar pumpkin. Butternut squash won. So my grandmother was right. Squash does make a better pumpkin pie than pumpkin does. Which one was your favorite? The same one?
I particularly like this one.
Butternut squash again.
But I also like this one.
Which one's this one? Jack-o'-lantern pumpkin.
Jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. I mean, it's a mild flavor, but I really, really like it too.
This is a fun test.
Yeah.
Are you surprised? I'm shocked. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us here at Cafe Amore for today's recipe. It really was a lot of fun and a lot of work to make it. We put a lot of love into it. If you could, please slap that like button. It really does help YouTube know that our content is good and helps us out as creators. Please subscribe to our channel. That really is one of the best things you can do for any YouTube creator. Subscribe to their channel. Leave a comment down below and share our content with your family and friends. And from the bottom of my heart and for Rina, we want to wish you a
Happy Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas when it comes. So thank you so much for your support, and we love to see you soon.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.